Enough in detail. Boys, getting some things taken care of on this side. We'll be live and direct 5x5 with you gentlemen shortly. Do a quick sound check, please. Go ahead and throw down 5x5 if this stream is direct and live for you guys. All right, gents. Let's go ahead and light this candle. Let's get this thing going. Hopefully, we'll be able to go ahead and fine-tune our audio as we get going, but let's go ahead and rock and roll. Tom Meganhoffen, welcome to the stream, my friend. Good to have you here for Season 2. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. And transition. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome once again to that afternoon live stream. That afternoon live stream where you'll pay. Maybe I'm talking on the back. Am I talking on the back of it? No, I'm not. Welcome to the afternoon live stream where you'll pay for the entirety of the seat, but you only need the very ragged edge. That's right, gentlemen. Hailing from Los Angeles, California, weighing 157 pounds, the Titanic of pneumatic MACABESPEED, representing the Airgun Underground, the absolute strongest air gunning family on YouTube today. Absolutely happy to be with you, gentlemen. Hopefully you're having a great week after the Thanksgiving holiday. I know I definitely am. I'm back to work 100% at this point. Let's go ahead and see who's in the chat with us. Transition. No music like the old days we used to have. I used to have one simple song that I used to really enjoy doing my intro to, but you know what? If you can do it without the music, that means you've really got a handle on it. I still need some practice, but we're making progress here. We're making progress. How is the audio for you boys? Kind of mumbly, but 5x5 mumbly. I got marble mouth here. Looks like I got here first, Mag. I hear you coming through with good volume and the picture is still perfect. Jessica Smith, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, we have an excellent stream today. Oh my God, the coffee's coming back up. Excellent stream for you guys today. And we also have a mute button. Mute button is hardcore in effect for us. And even though my dog is going nuts outside right now, we are rocking and rolling. I do want to look at the Defender 2.1. Why even make people wait, right? Why even make people wait? Bring up the overlay. Bring up the overlay. Be a real streamer. People aren't here on time. They're missing the fuck out. Here we go. Transition. The illustrious Texoma Precision Pellet. Let's get some volume on our overlay so that we can go ahead and play this video together, and we will react to the latest Texoma video. I saw this and was intrigued. What do you boys think? Roll the clip.
Good evening, folks. I hope you're all doing well. I may be taking Black Friday specials a little bit too far, or a little too literal in this case. But I'm going to share something I've been working on today, and I kind of got caught up and been to do this for a while. This is a AA Defender 2.
If the volume's off the hook, let me know. If you guys can't hear this, let me know.
On the front end, this looks a bit different. It had these more cartridges with the regular steel pieces inside of the rest. So, big 2.3 derivative, AA 3. As far as I know, it's not one in the country.
No, there is no Defender. No. Let's talk about that. There was a Defender 3, but it was terrible. It was like not really a Defender 3. It was not endorsed by AEA. It was made on the side by a vendor, and I heard horror stories about those Defender 3s. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
People are trying to make these black. I've seen this.
Skinny Mitch, what up?
When you push that trigger, the whole sound is going off.
Yep.
You got this strike hammer.
Yep.
That is what actually strikes the hammer forward. This spring for the trigger. This rod up here that's sprung actually rotates this between the two firing pins. So a lot happens there.
Yeah.
This is friction. It's pressure for plastic. It's a whole lot of pressure for 3D printing.
Yeah, dude's not wrong. Absolutely. This is an absolute massive ask for 3D printing. And why is that? It's because people aren't using additive technologies in the way that additive technologies are meant to be used. When you look at things that are 3D printed but aren't necessarily traditionally 3D printed, there's always an inlaid piece, right? You have slides, you have rails, you have heat set inserts, you have screws, there's always a backbone ancillary component that really drives the strength of that item to a point where the printed husk, the chassis, the shell, the thing that makes it the shape of what it is, can be still viable with the printer, but the mechanics, the actual sheer mechanical pieces of the whole, assembly are typically not a printed item. And you'll see that in many communities. You'll see that in many communities, whether it's the RC community where they print something and then they go ahead and insert more robust pieces like metal, aluminum, brass, whatever the case may be. If you see this in the real pew community, the powder pew community, where they're having, additive manufacturing, things like this, and they're needing to use actual slides, actual railed, actual parts kits to get this going. It's not all going to work. So what he's saying is 100% on point transition.
Defender. I did money for Defender.
Should I buy this? I feel like I should buy this.
Science. You can take plastic. You can 2.1, just a different coating. This is
Basically, he
this
dyes this
is
whole housing. It's still a stock housing, but he is dyeing these housings right here a different color than the factory ended up sending them out as the yellow item. It definitely almost looks like a sublimation and not an external type of a coating. And from what it sounds like, it's a really professional process. So this looks to me better than what came out of the factory, but it's kind of pricey. I mean, it's like $5 to get this whole thing. So I kind of wanted to get the community's opinion as far as what the general consensus was on this specific offering, so I could see whether or not you guys think it's worth it. Because I'll buy it if you guys think it's worth it. If you guys think that you want to see content on the Defender 2.1 from Texoma Precision Pellets, I am more than happy to do it. Jesse Pollock, I hope I'm pronouncing your name. I have absolutely nothing but the greatest admiration for you and your live streams. You are absolutely consistent with the live streams you put out, and man, your streams are awesome. I'm a big fan. I'm subscribed. I want everybody right now go ahead and subscribe to the Jesse until I get the actual pronunciation of this correct. Jesse P's channel right here, Fast Energy. Great channel, guys. Absolutely somebody doing something positive. Jessica Smith, wait for the Zeus 95 cal and saw the barrel for your EDC. Oh, wow. You know what? The 95 caliber, that's going to be the end of air guns. I really believe that. I know it's like an unpopular idea, right? It's an unpopular idea to say that anything is going to be the end of a hobby, but you start to question, like, in what light is going to be construed. Thanks, man. I love your channel 100%. Thanks for the shout out. Hey, you got it. You got it. When somebody is doing something as positive as I see it happening on your channel, and also like not claiming to know it all. There's a lot of people who do fitness channels that claim to really be like, master knowledge or whatever the case may be. But the humility on your channel is so refreshing, and I enjoy it very much. Definitely do check it out. I don't know. The 95 caliber, you start to think about how large of a projectile that actually is. I mean, you're talking about 1 inch almost in diameter. When you talk about caliber, it's always percentage of an inch, right? 0.95 is 0.95 inches. So almost an entire inch across. That's a huge projectile. I agree. There is a thrill to being able to take big game like Cape Horn buffalo, pronghorn, rams, big sheep, big razorback, big, feral hogs, whatever the case may be. That big game thrill with an air gun. But how much do you really need? And at what point does it become we're moving forward in a manner that we can, but should we, right? Like, I mean, a 95 caliber is going to bring huge attention to the industry 100%. Don't think the 95 caliber market will be very big or nor last long. You know what? There's really good calibers out there. The Zeus 72 caliber with a 32-inch barrel will reach out and touch shit. Period. There's no two ways about that. I have a build over there that I can't touch or handle, but I have a 32-inch Zeus in a billet aluminum stock, and I got a bad muzzle brake and a super cool barrel tensioning system that I really want to bring you guys up on in a future video. But what's the point? I think that that's going to be competitive with, can I say this? Is this going to sound dumb? I think it's going to be competitive with the M-Car. Because with the power that the Zeus brings to the table, I have a 45 caliber barrel, I have a 495 barrel, I have the 72 barrel 32 inch, and both of the two smaller bore barrels are also 20 inches or better. So we've got some caliber options. We've got stability through the aluminum stock. The Gen 2 trigger, if we put the long barrel on the Gen 2 trigger, it's it's a really good, it's a really, really, really good modular platform. And honestly, just the longevity of the hobby, I wish people would stop with the caliber race, right? Stop with the caliber race. What's the point? How much more dead does it need to be? And it's cool, right? Because like if you have the money, if you had the money to pay to play and you could go out with your buddies for a range day with a 95 caliber or something, or a 98 or 92, whatever caliber happens to be, right? It's cool to put big ass holes in big ass lumber. Straight up. No one's going to deny that. No one's going to deny. How many pieces of, 1/8 inch plate will it go through? These are good, good, good questions if you have the money to pay to play. But inside of that, you look at the practicality aspect, and you're like, okay, how does 95 caliber really group? Well, it doesn't matter, because if you hit within 6 inches of a kill zone, the sheer shock of basically wrecking ball game downrange is going to be extremely effective. So at that point, your accuracy doesn't really matter, and it'll be interesting to see if the factory relies on that accuracy not mattering and gives it the power without really fine-tuning the precision. I'm interested to see what happens. I'm interested to see what happens. Guy in Mexico, he was taking his 58 out to 1,500 yards. See, I'm not that good. There's no way I would make a random type of say I'm going to go out 1,500 yards with mine, because I know my skill set's not there. My skill set really drops off. I'm okay-ish to about 200 yards with big bore air guns. And I can usually hit the gong after walking in, sighting into a specific distance pretty effectively most of the time at sub 200 yard distances. And I think that's a fair estimation of my skills, right? We have to be very honest with ourselves when we're dealing with these machines, as well as the machine being accurate. Like they say, one MOA at 500 yards, one MOA at 200 yards with most standard firearm rifles or whatever the case may be, but a lot of people can't do it. So getting that execution in the field isn't always the same, and I know that my skills really top out at 2. Want to see the Zeus 95 in action. I still say the Rattler 30 is my favorite. I agree with you, Mac. It's also too expensive for ammo. Thank you and hello to all. Jessica Smith, welcome to the chat. Kyle Cluckin, it's not going to end air guns. It's too big and bulky to be concerned as far as ATF would be concerned anyways. The thing is enormous. You know what? It's not the ATF, man. It's not the ATF. It's the Karens. That's really what's gonna fuck it up. It's not gonna be the ATF, because I feel like the ATF, they already are aware of everything coming into this country because it has shipping manifests, right? There's no way Port Authority, Merchant Marines, Coast Guard, that type of stuff, there's no lying on these shipping manifests. You're not smuggling air guns into the country, so I do think that the ATF already knows. The Karens don't. And when the Karens start to catch on and realize, and they're like, oh my God, and how long has this been in effect? And that's what's really going to be the root underminer of the hobby. And honestly, I'll say it again. It wasn't a popular opinion in the last stream, but I'll say it again and double down and stand by this opinion that we need to not shut up about this hobby. We need to instead become vocal about this hobby and rebuke those who are doing negative actions, negative behaviors, negative whatever, bringing that negative light to the community. If nobody voices a positive side, then all people hear is that negative narrative. So for me personally, I'm the type of channel, hey, let's talk about it. Let's really bring it up to show that there is a duality to this hobby. It's not just the people who mess it up. There's actually a large user base who have zero problems ever because they responsibly use these items, right? If that is established, that's a much harder thing to take down than a silent user base who says absolutely nothing in defense of their hobby when negative stuff happens. And if you think I'm wrong, if you guys think that I'm wrong, then you know what, maybe I don't understand my subscribers as well as I think I do. But in general, there has to be a counterpoint to an untrue initial point, or that untrue initial point becomes fact in the eyes of the public, which we don't want, because we don't want everybody to feel like they've just become educated by these Karens. And now we know about air guns because we've heard these negative opinions that have no rebuttal. We as the responsible, it's our responsibility to steward this hobby in the right direction. I'm not going to get too preachy on it, but that's, you guys know exactly what I'm saying. 195 caliber, Jesse P100. Thank you very much. But yeah, first I need a 7,000 PSI air compressor to fill it. I think there's the other side of this too. Right now, we're working at realistic pressures. Realistic to me as far as, like, I'm a mechanical guy, right? I'm a sheet metal worker by trade, local 104, union sheet metal worker. I've been a sheet metal worker for 21 years. I kind of know a little bit about metal. I'm not a pressure engineer. I don't know about everything. I'm not a physicist, right? But I know that 4,500 PSI or 300 bar is a very standard accepted pressure level that people have worked at safely for a long period of time. I know that if a valve ever knocks off of an HPA bottle for any reason ever, and there's 4,500 PSI in it, that bottle will become a missile, right? So I start thinking about potentially getting close to doubling that pressure, and I'm like, I can make 1,500 foot-pounds of energy right now on the pressures that are known safe with a good buffer zone. I'm like, how much can this little fucking cylinder take, dude? You guys are going to pump 7,000 PSI into it? I can't. And then you want to put it up to your face? Call me a puss, man. Call me a puss. But I've seen negative stuff happen with pressure, and also it only takes so many incidences with pressure for you to build that quote unquote real respect, or what some people consider to be gun shy. Here's an example. Recently, I watched someone move an energized piece of equipment at work. The piece of equipment came unplugged from the triple tap cord that it was in, and as soon as those two separated, there was electrical fire connecting the two, and that fire grew to about a 1 foot distance, like linear 1 foot fire, and it did not go out until the cord was yanked out of the wall. And I was like, oh my God, I've never seen this happen before in my life. What's the point? Point is, that catastrophic failure taught me something that I need to be very, very, very careful with. In that case, moving energized equipment that's drawing high amperage. In our case, I'm like, you know what? I've seen pressure vessels have issues. I've heard stories about pressure vessels having issues, and 100%, I do think that 700 or 7,000 PSI is really starting to push the bar. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Call me a puss. You guys can throw down pussy in the chat if you want to, but I stand on that. I do not like I would not be comfortable being next to a non-DOT approved 7,000 PSI pressurized cylinder. Call me a pussy if you want. Stephen Cantera. After we spoke, I ended up buying a Zeus. I can't wait, bro. They are so solid. They are so solid. I really like the Zeus, and as many barrel options as there are, it is a really, really, really good platform. I have the 16-inch smooth barrel. I have the 16-inch rifled barrel. I have the 32-inch long barrel rifled, and I have 145 and 150 caliber, and they all can bolt on the same exact receiver. It's a really, really, really cool platform. I do love them. But excellent insight. Skinny Mitch Airgun Brotherhood. If you guys ever want to know anything about a real, true, like, excellent way to set your HPA filling stations up, check out Skinny Mitch's channel. Skinny Mitch is in my opinion, one of the better people who has a setup as far as HPA filling stations are concerned, and his stuff is really top tier. He knows a lot about it. Go check out his channel for some good information on that type of stuff. I definitely do like it. Definitely do like it. Good insight. I'm not comfortable pushing 7,000 PSI into carbon fiber, but no problem pushing it into good steel, but steel adds weight. That's it too. I've given the right next to me. Understand to be available in February with the American wiring DOT approval. But will it be DOT approval or will it be that other approval that's not quite DOT? Because they do have that other approval. And I'm like, I know they sneaky to buy on that, but it ain't DOT. It ain't the same as my Leshy. My Leshy's got this big rating and these special numbers and this test date and the stamp. It bears the stamp, but it has to be DOT. Maybe I'm wrong. I will totally own the fact that I don't know everything there is to know as far as transporting cylinders nor the legalities of doing so on the roads. Otherwise, it would be out already. Let's take a look at something. I'm going to grab my barrels because I can grab barrels, right? I can grab barrels and I can hopefully grab the stock, but I might not be able to grab the actual whole shebang and bang. Be right back. All right. Sweating out my coffee. Absolutely sweating out my coffee, but we're doing so together, so it should be a good time for all. Let's make sure I am in frame, and let's give YouTube the absolute real quick disclaimer. I am not about to show anything that is actually a firearm, actually an air gun, actually a Nerf gun. This is simply a stock, and it is in no way an air gun, so don't kill my stream. You guys know what the deal is. Thank you very much, YouTube. Transition. If they kill it anyways, you guys know what the deal was. I did my due diligence. They are some straight up haters, and they make me jump through 1,000 hoops. But this is the billet stock for the AEA Zeus with absolutely no action attached to it whatsoever. Once again, this is a nice piece of manufacturing, and Jim at Texhoma Precision Pellet did do a great job putting this together for us. I do like this. I do vouch for this. I did purchase 2 of these at full price so that I could get both of my Zeuses 100% squared away. I broke both of my Zeus stocks, and I even made a goofy video fixing it, but reliving my coffee there. But the fact of the matter is, this is better than my fix, and I did like it. Here's the other piece of the puzzle. This is the sickness. That's so crispy. Man, this camera is good as hell. Transition. This is clean, dudes. This is the Texhoma Precision Pellets. 50, is it stuck in there? It's probably stuck in there. The O-ring. This is the adapter for the 50 caliber. This is the billet sleeve for the 50 caliber. This is the super sick nut that he made for the whole assembly, and this is the barrel itself. Can you see in there? It wants to so bad. You're not going to focus for me, are you? Oh, it wants to. Anyways, it's a 50 caliber barrel. That's the point. This is the pretty part anyways. The Zeus is a really, really, really stout platform, and putting these 2 pieces of the puzzle together on a stock Zeus Gen 2 power plant, and I do recommend the Gen 2 over the Gen 1 in most cases, just for one specific reason. The Gen 2 trigger itself was so far ahead of the Gen 1. It's not even comparable. It's like trying to break what's the best way to put it? You ever had one of those slide bolts that go across your door and you're feeling like you're just pulling through something that mechanically? It is not a good trigger. I'm sure people have worked on it. I'm sure people have tuned it. I'm sure people have messed with it. But for me, I know my trigger touches my trigger sear, so I don't like to do a whole lot of messing with anything factory right there, right? It could definitely cause it to potentially go off more easily if I were to make a mistake with it, so I don't mess with it whatsoever. I know for sure, though, the way that my Gen 2 Zeus came out of the box, just 100% the way it came out of the box, you even think about that trigger and it goes off. The pull is very, very, very consistent and very, very, very light. It's probably one of the most crisp breaks on trigger, break, and engagement in my whole collection, by far. Let's see what's going on in my chat. You have to have extra voltage converter which they sell with it for extra to use a 7K compressor. I'll wait. Yep. You know, honestly, and let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater here. I think that the fact of the matter is anything that's brand new is always going to be a little bit intimidating, especially if you're dealing in really high level tolerances as far as pressures or temperatures or anything that's really got that high dynamic risk penalty for failure style stuff. Anything that's new is going to be a little bit intimidating. So for me, I'm not willing to be the guinea pig. I shoot enough air guns as it is, right? I'm rolling the dice. I get shooting air guns all year round, all the time. I'm probably more likely to have a failure than others just because of my frequency to be around them, right? I'm not going to be the first one to be around the big pressure 95 cal. But once other people start to have decent sustainable luck with it, that's when I myself also may take one for a test drive. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it really goes. But, it's like there's been a lot of talk this year about what AEA's best gun really is. And I think that a lot of people have kind of settled on the idea that the Megalodon is the AEA best gun on the market right now. But I gotta beg to differ. The AEA gun that I'm having the least problems with at this point is the AEA Harpoon. People are going to hate on that. I know it. But here's the deal. The Harpoon went and upgraded from the Defender in the sense it has no spring-loaded, internally sealed, and internally compartmentalized firing pins. They have full mechanical strikers. It is 2 independent sears on blocks of aluminum. Those blocks are spring-loaded, and they independently fire. It's a full mechanical striker. That was such a huge upgrade. And they made it so cheap. They made the Harpoon is within striking distance to me as far as the Defender 2. I think if you buy the Harpoon right now on the Texoma site, it's $500 for 12 gauge barrels. And if you buy the CNC Defender 2.1, it's also $500. So it's pretty much about what you like, what you want. But for me personally, I'm you know what? I just know more times out of not, the Harpoon's going to go bang way more consistently than the Defender 2. I like the idea of the Defender 2, especially with that billet option and all blacked out, and because I kind of know how to work with them and mess with them and make them more a little bit fine-tuned, reliable. It might be worth jumping into it, but I do believe in my heart, straight up, 100% transparency, the Harpoon may be the best thing the AEA has dropped this year. I have never had a time in my whole ownership of 2 Harpoons where I filled cartridges, they were correctly pressurized, and they failed to go off. The ones that failed to go off were incorrectly pressurized, and we saw that on the burst discs. But anytime you got pressure in a cartridge, and there's a bullet in front of a cartridge, and it's inside a cocked Harpoon, it's going bang. So I'm you know what? That's the reliability that they should be shooting for. That's the reliability that they should be working towards. And when we see the consistency of the AEA products get all of their platforms to the Harpoon level of reliability, dude, they will decimate all. Because nobody brings horsepower to the table the way the AEA does. But no one also brings dumb foibles to the table the way AEA does as well, right? They have really solid, powerful stuff, but they also have these little, really fixable, sometimes highly annoying issues, right? So you got to take the good with the bad. You got to think about it in the sense that this Ed gun back here, if you had to buy one new, it's over 3 Gs, and it still only makes 150 foot-pounds of energy. Almost every single AEA product that's out there makes almost 150 foot-pounds of energy, 150 foot-pounds of energy, plus even the Harpoon. So you look at it and you're you know what? As far as the bang for the buck proverbially, right? The FPE per dollar, the real piece of the puzzle that matters to a grand portion of this user base, they got that shit drilled. Get everything in your line? Looking right at you. Ben, looking right at you, bro. Through my spicy camera here, man. Get all your stuff to the way that you got that Harpoon running. It's a knockout punch on the industry, buddy. You will rule this whole industry. Just get everything to be that level. Because I can't stress it enough. All my AEA stuff gives me headaches from time to time, except that Harpoon. Up, up, up. You know the Harpoon was single barrel and had plans for 27cc cards, but and we're up to 82 caliber, but they changed it for the American market. Well, I didn't know that. That's cool. 95 anti-drone rounds. Oh, don't ever make that mistake. I know everybody's like, oh, we'll just shoot down a drone. Dude, they are federally regulated as aircraft. So I would just say, just in general, public service announcement, do not engage drones for any reason whatsoever. It is literally considered an aircraft. And if you shoot at a drone, it's a major, major, major crime. Black Jesus, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Big fan. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Usually there's like a 70-30 split, right? 30% of the people just kind of like subscribe to start something in the chat here, and then the other 70% of the people are really positive. Great to have you. Great to have you in the chat. Let's look at something else. Let's look at Is there anything else I want to talk about here? Got These are the 12 gauge AEA barrels. He's got all these 12 gauge AEA barrels now. It's so interesting. I found it so interesting. And I don't care who hears this or is mad about it, but you know what? I feel like they kind of stole his idea because Jim made custom 12 gauge barrels and there were no 12 gauge barrels from AEA. There was only 45 and 50. And then when Jim had success with it, they straight mass produced it. And I'm like, dude, that is gnar to me. I can't believe that. They just 100% keep their ear to the ground and then throw the mass production machine in motion to just kill the market. I'm like, oh, man. Least they could have done was make it the right length so we don't need these adapters, right? Come on. If you're going to steal the idea, at least steal the idea. Steal the idea. Hey, just shout out you guys. I see you out there. All right. Other thing we could talk about. I am still doing my Cyber Monday sale, but as soon as probably tonight, I'm going to go ahead and put everything back the way it was because I'm absolutely dying. People have been absolutely crushing it. You guys have been incredibly, incredibly awesome as far as the Black Friday sales are concerned, and I'm only just now digging out from the shipping end of that. We've got every single person at this point fulfilled, even though we haven't updated the website yet because I'm here on the live stream instead of updating my stuff that I have from the post office box. Next couple of days, probably get stuff back to the regular price, but for right now, we are still doing our Black Friday sale. It doesn't mean shit to anybody, though, right? It doesn't really mean shit to anybody. Nobody really cares about the Black Friday sales because everybody's doing them for so long now. I'm not even looking at the right spot here. Let's see what we got going on. Transition to... Oh, it's not going to let me do it. Why? Here we go. Okay. Transition. MACABESPEED.com. It doesn't really mean anything because everybody's been doing Black Friday for so long that it's like played out. But ask the people who have checked out on my site. Definitely, they got some good deals over the last few days. What else we got going on? Transition. Got another 58 caliber Megalodon video coming out. Would you ever do a table for one with your Airgun 2? I don't understand the statement. A table for one with my Airgun 2. I'm trying so hard to figure that statement out. I'm sorry, I'm dumb. I don't get it, brother. I don't get it, my guy. But I do have an Airgun video coming out shortly, and it is kind of scratching the surface on what I think a lot of people would go through. It shows exactly what ammunition is going to work for you, shows exactly what ammunition is not going to work for you. It does show it to make good, consistent power. It does show it to have good shot count. And it also shows it as far as what it looks like when it has a failure. The failure is kind of cool on the Airgun. And not kind of cool because of what happens, but kind of cool because of what doesn't happen. A lot of the times on the high-end Airguns, I know definitely I broke an Avonix Cloud. I definitely destroyed that thing. On the high-end guns, if you run into some really good problems, some spicy issues, they don't do well. They don't come back from stuff like that. A lot of the times, the high-end guns just don't like major malfunctions. In my case, with my Airgun, I had kind of a major malfunction in the sense that I wasn't getting mag rotation and I wasn't getting it to cycle because of incorrect ammunition. when I had those issues, it simply dry fired. It didn't break anything. It didn't break any gear teeth or anything. I don't even know how it really works, but it didn't break any of the rotational aspect of how that magazine is put in motion. It didn't break anything as far as valve pins or interference fit. Nothing was an issue. So to see that I was able to kind of just like ham-fistedly punch my way through an episode with a brand new rifle that's really kind of out of my tax bracket to begin with, it was cool to know that, hey, you know what? There's some buffer zone there before I really start to do some damage to this Ed gun, even though the price tag is kind of like cost prohibitive in a lot of senses. Table of one, he hunts squirrels and chipmunks. Thank you so much for the clarification. Thank you so much for the clarification. I would put it on. I put the metal to the meat. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid, right? It's like I always hear my kid listening to that song on Super Simple Songs. She's all into that. I'm not afraid. But no, I'm not afraid to put the metal to the meat, and I would absolutely do farm pest control, bird pest control. I would do any type of pest control and have absolutely no problem sleep like a baby. I just don't have that opportunity in my area. God, if you're watching this and you have a farm and you want me to come unalive small game for you, I will do that. I will gladly do that. You don't have to pay me or anything. Just give me some kind of caveat where I can film, right? Because I know that definitely there are a lot of people out there on my channel who want to see what the terminal ballistics look like on a lot of these offerings in my collection on things other than paper. And I want to be able to bring that to you guys. That's part of my plan to move out of state, right? I want to get out of this shithole garbage dumpster fire of California and really get to a place where I can like live my life freely in the way that I feel like I should as a free man in America. I 100% almost feel incarcerated as a free person in California because of all of the strict rules and regulations that govern citizens. I mean, it's crazy. I can't shoot a pellet gun in your backyard, can't shoot a BB gun in your backyard, can't use a bow and arrow in your backyard, can't possess pepper balls, can't buy pepper balls, can't do anything. I'm not talking about felons. This is like people in general. You can have a plate carrier and an AR and you cannot own pepper balls. So when I think about stuff like that, that's like a driving factor for me to want to leave this state. And if I was able to leave this state into a more rural area, you guys definitely would 100% be seeing more hunting videos. If I was in any type of an area. Because, I mean, let's dig into it just a tiny bit further. As a YouTuber, I can't do whatever I want because I am literally providing evidence for whatever it is that I do. So people sometimes give me, oh, why don't you use this? Why don't you just throw this on it, just do this, blah 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 blah. Like maybe I could if I was a private citizen and not filming my actions and I was very quiet about what I was doing or whatever the case may be. But as soon as you start putting yourself out there, you are under a microscope. So like the amount of things you actually get to enjoy that you might have enjoyed without exposure starts to diminish. I think that's the plus and the minus of the content creation game, right? Checking in from Oregon. Welcome, Russell. Good to see you, my guy. This is a pretty cool chat. Public service announcement. Oh, dude. I almost looked at my light like my light was my camera. My public service announcement. Stop buying flash drives. Stop. 100%. Full stop. Major stop. Do not buy any more external hard drives. Do not buy any more flash drives. Do move to this. This is the new thing. This is the way things should work. If you're a video editor, if you're any kind of media person or anything like that, solid state drives, portable solid states are just about the same price as the Seagate hard drives that a lot of people edit off of, and these are so much faster. I can transfer like on average about 800 megs a second off this tiny little drive. So 100%. This is amazing. They're ruining the cool YouTube channels. Absolutely. I saw one thing. Dan Frankel, Mac, what was your final takeaway from your 58 meg? Did it finally perform okay? In the next video is actually on this drive. It's actually on this little solid state drive right here. We are going to be taking a look at the next incremental move forward with the meg. I'm not willing to quit on it. I'm $1,000 lighter because of that gun, right? I'm $1,000 lighter because of that gun. I can't, in good conscience, like sell it to another community member and be like, oh yeah, here, enjoy. And I know it works the way it does, So I'm committed to walking the course necessary to try and get the best performance I'm able to out of this machine, having invested the time and also made the video. That's the other thing about it, right? The YouTube factor, once again. If I had never made a video, I might be able to go and potentially return it or exchange it with Terry, who I bought it from, and just figure it out. But the fact of the matter was, I put it out there. Now I get to own it. You made your bed, you lie in it. As a YouTube content creator, you absolutely have to 100% eat your own dog food. So in that sense, once I put the issue out there, I knew I committed myself to finding a solution for you guys. And I think that that's a better use of a sus rifle than trying to just take the easy Amazon Jeff Bezos workaround of return stuff like always. If anything on Amazon gives me any type of shit, return, bro, it's gone instantly, and I want my money back pretty much as soon as I drop it at the UPS store. So I'm committed to finding an answer. I'm committed to getting it as good as it possibly can be. And I'm committed to absolutely sharing that tidbit of knowledge with the community. So if you start to have something that's acting the way that mine was, maybe you could walk the same path of successful fix that I hope to come up with on my end. That's what the whole point is here. Also helpful from putting data onto a previous computer onto your new bigger drive containing one. Yes. No. There's so much beauty to be had as far as data transfer on these tiny solid state drives. I kind of don't know why they did it like this. This is 1 terabit, but it's the pro version, and this is a 2 terabit, but it's the standard version. The 2 terabit is extremely light and it's very small, but it's got a plastic body. I don't know if you guys can kind of see the plasticiness of this O-ring here. The premium factors on the all aluminum case single terabyte pro, I kind of like this one better. Even though it's only half the storage, the durability really is what matters, right? Because I mean, if you're a YouTuber, your videos, your footage, your cards, your SD cards, that's your whole life. You lose your SD cards, you didn't even go to the range, bro. Where's the proof? Picture it didn't happen. So for me, I'm like, you know what? The data is everything, and safeguarding that data, 100% paramount to me. Black Jesus, not trying to get off subject, but what is the best ammunition for AEA 50 caliber Megalodon slug diameter? I cannot say enough good things about using them verbatim for what they're rated for. 495. Go with 495. Lucky 7 air ammo, maxi velocity, 247 grain. That is the most accurate round that I know of. If you can't find that, 235 grain Texoma Precision Pellets hollow point. Great slug. I was having extremely good luck with the Texoma 235 in my videos that I did film with the 50 caliber Megalodon. So it's extremely stout round. I don't know if Lucky 7 still makes ammo. And it actually kind of like hurts my heart because that dude, he was so good. Like, some people are just really good at stuff, right? Like, he was really good at ammo. All of his stuff is sold out on back order. He's got a message on his website right now that says we'll be back like in a week or in a few weeks or something like that. And it's been months. But you know what? Let's all drop him some emails and maybe see if we can hopefully convince him to come back and start producing some super serious freedom seeds for the community that absolutely values his services. He's a good dude. My Megalodon is 50 caliber, 12.7 millimeter. That is correct. That is absolutely correct. They will rate it as a 50 caliber, but the actual bore diameter itself is going to be 495. Mr. Hollowpoint also kind of micromanages the sizings, and he kind of like get off on a tangent and really dial in like what diameter your gun likes. If you slug the barrel, and what I mean is like manually push a slug through the barrel and then measure the the rifling lands so you can see what the true diameter is. Mr. Hollowpoint makes a 496. Some barrels like the 496, but inside of that, I've had great luck with everything 12.7 millimeter from AEA working with 495. That's what my sabots are sized for too. My sabots work really good in that gun, and they are also sized exactly .495. I wish someone sold seal kits for retrofit to helium. See, and that's another thing. I'm kind of a puss on that too. You get to the exotic gases, and I'm like, I'm not a physicist, right? I'm not over here trying to play Oppenheimer, right? I know that the effects are bigger bang, but all of the things that lead up to that proportionally larger bang, I don't know anything about it, so I have to definitely watch others first. Extreme Airgun Slugs makes a 495 5-gallon bucket hollow points that my M50 loves. You know what? That dude's cool. Cam is cool, dude. I know, man. I'm just watching what the other guys do. Oh, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. It would be interesting to finally like standardize the helium, right? And not like somebody's backyard experimentation style standardization, but like, what's the real recipe? What do we really have to do? What is safe? What is going to blow up next to your face? Let me know. You know what I mean? Let me know. Let me know. That's my that's where I really look at it. And you know, I think it's because I'm getting old. It really is because I'm getting old. It's so funny. When I started YouTube, I was 27 years old. It's 14 years later now. And so I'm like, you know what, the older I get, the more I kind of like think about things before I do. I'm less impulsive now. But you know, there's one good life-changing surgery to do that to a guy. Get some cheap stuff I can figure out. Don't worry about ring. Totally cool. Which AEAHO? Russell or Ronald Simpson, welcome to the chat. Absolutely, please. Maybe rephrase that comment. I would love to answer your question for you. Wouldn't care, but they were getting stupid gains, so I'm always into more punch and a smaller footprint. Absolutely. Have you actually seen the 82 caliber helium video? I have not. Can I shoot 50 caliber muzzle loader slugs straight out of my 50 caliber Megalodon? Measure one. If you measure it and it's 495, 496, yes. If it's 50 caliber 510, because a lot of the muzzle loader stuff is 510, actual 510 instead of 495, then no. Which AEA Max 50, 457, or 510 is best for the air tank upgrade and barrel upgrade? You know, honestly, the 457 is really, 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 really good. I do like the 457. Hang on one second. The 457 is really, really, really good. I don't know too terribly much about the 510, so I can't really speak to it. But in the episodes where I have compared my M50 457 to my M50 50 caliber, I found better accuracy with my 457. That is what I was going to go with. Nice. Hell yeah. Cool. Very cool. If you get yourself a decent micrometer, at least Mac has done the work to give you the right numbers to mic them to. Exactly. Exactly. And you know what? It doesn't even have to be a good micrometer. I mean, where's my Harbor Freight one? This guy, dude. This guy. I kind of pirated the battery cover off of a different one and made a Frankenstein one, but I've had this thing for like, I don't know, 15 plus years, easily 15 years. I mean, it's been with me since my car era. So it's anything in this or up will work just fine for you. You just, hit the little button. It's got the little digital readout. Works good. To 0.1 millimeter. This would do 0.01 millimeters. We can measure. We can measure stuff. Y'all want to measure? Let me see if I can find some 50 real quick. We'll measure up some 50. Hang on. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So this is a sabot. This is inches, millimeters, 0, 0. See if I can do this on camera. It's all 494.5, which really, you know what I mean? If you look at the calibration, plus or minus 2%, this is right there, guys. This is right there. 494.5, 495. This is a 50 caliber AEA round. This is the diameter for sure. 495. Then we step over here. This is our 510 stuff. This is probably what the muzzle loader guys are using. Hang on. Are we there? Yeah. That's the difference. That's your difference right there between 50 and 510. Muzzleloader is 501 to 502 as standard, 510 is BMG standard. This is great insight. Thank you very much. Absolutely true. Right. I'm not talking the decimal place, but as long as it's not giving you error variation delta 1 or O1, then you can offset a bad calibration. Truth. Oh my God. Absolutely all of my coffee is coming back up. I'm so glad I have a mute button. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. All right. Well, the one thing I want to go ahead and really leave you guys with is people seemed to really like the idea of customized air guns on my site. The one that I had up, my harpoon that I sold last time, absolutely evaporated like almost overnight. So I was thinking about potentially picking up a few of these. Is there any type of an interest in getting MACABESPEED custom harpoons or MACABESPEED custom air guns? Is there anything like that? Because I want to make sure that like I'm really catering to the community here. If you guys have an issue or not have an issue or have an interest in something and you would like to see something brought to fruition in a way that I'm able to do so for you, just let me know. We'll go ahead and start to figure it out. Thanks for staying humble, man. I try. I try. You know, I'm not the best in the world, but I'm definitely here having a good time, and I'm absolutely happy to be doing it with a great community of people. I think it's going to be an absolutely incredible place to go ahead and think about starting to end the stream. But I absolutely have had a great time with you guys today. Let's go ahead and finish this coffee off. Where's my big frame at? Where's my big frame at? Got my child out there in the other room, absolutely waiting on my attention. I've been working more than usual, and I'm getting absolutely everybody's packed out there. But this is a great place to go ahead and end today's stream. If you like today's stream, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you say subscribe for more with that notifications button so you can catch up on these streams as well as when they come out. If you really like what you saw today, make sure you share it so other people can see it. And I'll catch you boys in the next one. Cheers, gentlemen. Till next time, boys.